Wow, this was really unexpected, but I am super excited! A lot of you guys are probably upset about the fact that they skipped Partners in Time, or the fact that it's not on the Switch, but I'll try to explain that in another video. For now, I'm just going to talk about my initial thoughts, hopes, fears about the game. So starting off, I'll talk about a few nitpicks. A few of the inside Bowser locations seem a bit too dark, mainly in the flame pipe. And just speaking of the flame pipe in general, I don't really like what they did to it. It looks really cool. It makes sense, but I'm gonna miss the original design. I'm also a little bit upset that the designs aren't more cartoony. I'm fine with the fact that the outlines are gone and have been gone since Dream Team. And the sprites are really beautiful, but I'll miss that cartoony, almost chibi art style that the original game had. And finally, I'm a little upset that they decided to edit Paper Jam and Superstar Saga DX's Bowser battle sprites instead of Dream Team's. There's always been something off with the sprites from those two games for me. Especially with his mouth, it looks a bit weird, and he looks too angry for me, but I'll get used to it. And luckily, Bowser's overworld sprites look pretty good, even if they're only slightly edited from Superstar Saga DX. So now that I'm done with the nitpicks, let's move on to my fears. Honestly, I'm not really scared about anything for this remake. There isn't really anything that they can do, they can change. And the changes they have made, it's mostly just added flair to the inside Bowser sections. And aside from the flame pipe, I'm really loving what they've done with everything. So I'm also afraid that Peach's castle will be redesigned to look more like the iconic design, instead of the design from the original. This also happened in Superstar Saga DX, and I got used to it, so I probably won't be too upset if it happens here as well. My biggest fear is that the Toads will not get their unique designs back, since it didn't happen in Superstar Saga DX. But here, I think we might actually be getting the original designs. First of all, I did a comparison, and the Toad sprites are different from the ones from Superstar Saga DX. Here they are actually designed off of the original sprites from Bowser's Inside Story, which really gets me excited. I like that. Also, let's think about this for a second. So we have the Father Toad from the intro of the game, and he retains his old design. So if all Toads are made generic, aside from the father, well, imagine this. A generic grown-up looking Toad comes home from skipping school. He talks to his mom, who is also a generic Toad that looks exactly like him, and has a husband who is really unique looking. That just sounds really weird. I don't think they'd let that happen. I'm super excited to see if they bring back the unique designs, and if they don't, well...
What? Did they seriously replace the unique Toad designs with generic recolors again? Why? Nintendo, I hate you! I'm not going to buy this game!
Finally, there is the music. A lot of the songs in Superstar Saga DX were hit or miss for me. I'm hoping for a more faithful, more consistent quality of music for the remake, and I hope none of my favorites end up poorly. We've already heard the battle themes and the panic theme, and from what we've heard so far, it's probably going to be pretty good. The panic theme seems a tiny bit weird, but I'm already used to it. Moving on to my hopes, there really isn't that much. So far, from the little we've seen from the game, it seems like it's going to be much more faithful to the original, and there isn't that much they can change either. The enemies pretty much use the modern designs, so it's not like they can change those at all. And the only characters I can see them changing is the Toads. And they brought back the fast forward feature, and you'll probably be able to skip tutorials too. I'm certain that this game is going to be amazing. As for Bowser Jr.'s journey, I just hope it's different enough from Minion Quest that it doesn't feel like a rehash. And I don't really want the story to be affected too much from what goes on behind the scenes. Seeing what happened with Bowser Jr. and the Koopalings throughout the adventure is a really neat idea, and I can't wait to see how it pans out. Well, that's about it. There's a lot to look forward for this game, and I don't really have anything to complain about either. I can almost guarantee that this game is going to be amazing, and I'm eager to play it when it releases next year. See you guys later. Okay, so I'm just going to add on really quick. I didn't notice this till after I wrote the script. I paused a bit and I looked at the Japanese footage, and it seems like the female Toads are just going to be normal Toads wearing aprons, which kind of gets me upset. Maybe I'll talk about my whole problem with the Toads in another video, because I don't want to make this video go on too long. But, man, I'm just a bit upset. They better have the child Toads. If they don't have the child Toads, I'm going to be kind of upset. But overall, the Toads are literally the only thing that I'm upset about so far. And of course, the toads could be a placeholder because there was one toad with an apron in Superstar Saga DX. So it's possible that this apron one is just a placeholder. There's still at least a year before the game comes out, so it could be changed. I doubt it though. So yeah, that's about it. I'll have to see what happens next from the trailers and stuff. See you guys in the next video. Moving on to my hopes. There isn't really that much so far from the little we've seen from the game. It's going to be much more faithful. What did I just say? Moving on to my hopes. There isn't really that much so far from the little we've seen from the game. It's going to be much more faithful to the... Oh, okay.